Breaking Bad is a crime thriller TV series released in 2008. Producer Vince Gilligan and his crew instantly were praised for their show, receiving 16 Emmys and 2 Golden Globe Awards. Walter White, the lead actor anti-hero, transforms from an underaccomplished high school chemistry teacher into a ruthless meth dealer. After developing stage 3 terminal lung cancer with little money to pay for treatment, Walter turns to cooking methamphetamine as a means to support his family. In the pilot episode, Walter goes on a ride-along to a meth lab bust with his DEA brother-in-law Hank. While waiting in the car, he spots out Jesse Pinkman escaping the house. Later, Walt tracks down his former student and blackmails him into working together with him.
You want to cook crystal meth? You and me.
That's right. Wow. Either that, or I turn you in.
This exchange of words is just the beginning of a manipulative trap that will drag Jesse to the lowest points of his life. Walt seems harmless in the pilot episode, but the development of his alter ego, Heisenberg, proves to terrify the world, and Jesse nonetheless. Early on, Walt asserts his dominance over Jesse. He rarely shows his face to any lower-level workers, giving Jesse the illusion that he's in control of the business. But soon enough, Walt initiates his own moves, regardless of Jesse's opinion.
Stay out of my territory.
He violently negotiates with Tuco Salamanca and takes back his stolen money. Jesse understands the danger of doing business with a murderous cartel member, but Walt has nothing to lose. By now, Jesse has already become a business tool for Walt. In a life where death is waiting around the corner, Walt recognizes the importance of having a loyal partner. He will do absolutely anything to maintain control of Jesse's mind. He establishes himself as a father figure for Jesse, whose family has disowned him. This familiar type of relationship tricks Jesse into thinking that Walt has his best interest at heart. However, as Walt transitions into the evil Heisenberg, his morals start to conflict with Jesse's. In response, he fabricates lies and devises schemes to maintain Jesse's loyalty. His careful choice of words lure Jesse back time and time again.
You said my cook was garbage! And screw you, man! Screw you!
Your meth is good, Jesse. As good as mine.
Although one might think that the dangerous situations would scare Jesse away from working with Walt, sometimes these near-death situations actually drew them closer. Walt's initial enticement to keep him is the prospect of financial success, but when Jesse loses interest in money, he needs to come up with new strategies to keep Jesse in the meth business. Walt progressively increases the severity of the measures he takes to keep Jesse in line. In the final 3 seasons of the show, Heisenberg especially destroys Jesse's life and oppresses him of any happiness he once had. There are many schemes Walt uses to play with his head, but a few definitely stick out. After escaping a kidnapping attempt by Tuco, the partners ask their corrupt lawyer, Saul Goodman, for potential buyers. Walt gets a meeting with an interesting seller who offers him a state-of-the-art meth lab to work in. His name is Gus, and his connections with the cartel create unexpected problems for Walt. But separate subplots between the partners show Jesse's decline into drug addiction alongside his new girlfriend, Jane. He becomes unreliable on the job, and when Jane tells Walter about leaving with Jesse to New Zealand and starting a new life, he shows up at their house. He finds the couple unconscious next to syringes and spoons used for heroin. Jane coughs and chokes on her own vomit, and Walt initially tries to save her. However, he swiftly changes his mind, letting her die. Now, Walt, an almost fatherly figure in Jesse's life, is the closest person he has left. He ships the young man off to rehab, regaining the loyalty and hustling mindset of his partner. Another ploy that might leave the viewer in shock was the tense murder of Gail Bedecker.
You don't have to do this.
Are you wondering how Jesse got to this point? Earlier on, Walt saves Jesse's life by killing 2 rival drug dealers. When Gus is ready to kill Walt and replace him with Gail, he begs Jesse to save his life too. The execution of Gail saves Walt's life and provides him with a little more time to build up his wealth. The third extreme measure that Walt takes to maintain control of Jesse is poisoning Brock, his new girlfriend's son. After it looks like Jesse is gaining loyalty for Gus, Walt recognizes the need to take back his ally. Gus will soon kill him unless Jesse switches sides. Right after Brock falls ill, Jesse accuses Walt of the poisoning, but Walt has a perfect response to his anger.
Who do you know? Who's okay with using children? Jesse, who do you know? Who's allowed children to be murdered? Gus!
At the end of the series, Hank dies in a shootout with the White Power gang. The attack was a mistake because the only person who was meant to die was Jesse Pinkman. Walt had ordered a hit on Jesse after he threatened to murder him. Instead, the White Power gang capture Jesse and keep him as a meth-cooking slave.
Get off me! Get off!
Okay, we've already detailed the wrongdoings of Walter White within his partnership with Jesse, but at the same time, Walt did a few things to support him. The most notable of all was when he frees Jesse. Walt sets up an assault rifle to spray bullets at the gang, holding Jesse captive. Walt gets hit by one of the bullets as he shields Jesse from the danger. Jesse lives as a survivor of Heisenberg. Perhaps Walt wanted a living testament to his story. Maybe Walt only wanted to take revenge for Hank's murder and happened to save Jesse at the same time. The answer may never be clear, but minutes later, Walt falls while searching through Jesse's slave lab and takes his last breaths. The viewer is left to reflect on the consequences of this lifestyle. In our real world, cartel and gang life is organized through a chain of command, but I prefer to call it a chain of manipulation. Walter's relationship with Jesse demonstrates how malign intent from a sharp-witted mentor can drag down an individual in the world of crime. Youth and young adults like Jesse with a troubling past often put themselves in the vulnerable position to be used as a tool, only kept alive to accelerate the profits of a larger crime organization. By the time this individual can question the moral judgments of their superiors, it's likely too late to escape. A naive and confused gang member will witness atrocities and might be forced to commit them, with no resources available to help them. Even the slightest indication of that individual being a snitch or a police informant will result in deadly consequences. Breaking Bad tells a story that is all too familiar to convicts in America. However, most of these criminals aren't as lucky as Walter White. Time and time again, he finds a way to survive. Walter believes he's found a partner that he can trust. By the end of the series, it is clear that Walt will achieve his goals by any means necessary. Immorality no longer plays a role in his decision-making whatsoever. Unfortunately for Jesse, Walt's actions will leave him emotionally scarred for life in a shell of the man he once was. In the sequel movie El Camino, Jesse races to freedom after Walt frees him from enslavement. He gets the chance to start over under a new identity. The writers leave us with a cold message, exemplifying how nobody wins in the world of crime. When the rule of law no longer exists, money, violence, and manipulation control the outcomes of life and death. Jesse remains unaware of Walt's manipulation games throughout most of the show. By the time he discovers the true evil in Walt's mind, everything has spiraled out of control. Breaking Bad reminds us of the many things in our world that people falsely believe to control. We've talked a lot about how young gang members can get manipulated, but the illusion of control relates to ordinary citizens, the actual people who watch Breaking Bad. I ask you, how much do you really control your life? Probably less than you think. The information you look at on your phone has been filtered to feed your mind exactly what it wants. This might sound good, but for all we know, these companies are sharing what they want you to see. Listen, say there's a close election, and the algorithms are set up to give a certain candidate more attention on their platform. With almost the entire young generation on social media, that candidate will have the clear advantage. Posts intended to spark outrage are filtered to just the right people. Social media companies are pulling strings while the puppets of society organize, riot, and burn down cities. A small group of people now have the ability to incite chaos or work towards peace. But can we really trust these companies? We're living in an age of misinformation, an era where you need to read 5 different articles about the same topic just to try and fish out the truth. But I bet most of you don't do that. You think you're informed, but you spend your day eating up biased opinions from political pages that think just like you. There's nothing to gain from listening to the same mindset on repeat. The only people who win are the social media companies who profit every time you watch their targeted ads. Don't be that girl or boy who posts political infographics on Instagram, presenting an uncited source, insisting that you know a single thing about facts. You're pathetic. Times have changed, and I challenge you to use the internet to your advantage. Take a look at every perspective before you pretend like you know what you're talking about. Never lose control of your mind.